Basically, stop feeling bad for... Erin's gone. Basically, stop...
That made no sense in my head when I started thinking about it. I won't laugh.
Alright.
You go.
So
Alright.
you gather my thoughts.
Cut.
No, that's action! You fucking...
Ready?
Can I do action? Action. Go. Come on, do your intro. Alright. How hard is it?
God!
Like this. Zen.
Alright, ready? Hey guys.
That was you, I didn't do it. Hey guys, welcome to Young Minds Unleashed. I'm sorry I had to do the intro, but Erin, for some reason, couldn't get through it.
Hey guys, welcome to Young Minds. Oh my god,
that was my bad. I looked at myself. Go.
Hey guys, welcome to Young Minds Unleashed, episode 3. Today we're going to talk about being selfish in the pursuit of being selfless.
Perfect.
I'm going to let Samuel take over, and he's going to start the topic for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. So, just to give you a rundown of what we're going to discuss, just going through today's video, you need to, in order to help other people, you really need to be in control of your kind of own situation, and that starts from, it's the perception of it is kind of like you're being selfish, but you really need to be in order to get yourself right. You need to put yourself first and do things that are going to benefit not only your kind of physical situation, whether it's finances or whatever it is, but also on the mental side of things too.
I found doing being selfish is actually taking time out for yourself. To go phone free, go for a walk, do some exercise, go have a facial, go get your nails done.
I don't do that.
A lot of women tend not to do this stuff because they're, but I've got to go to work, I've got to do this, I need to do that. Yeah, sure, you need to go to work to make money. But at the same time, if you're slogging it out 12 hours a day at work, you're not doing your mental health any good. You need to take time and you need to work on yourself. I also find that a lot of women don't exercise, don't take part in like group exercises or community fitness groups because they don't want to spend the money on themselves because they don't see themselves as important. You need to be selfish and spend that money on yourself because in the long run it's going to help your mental health. If you are constantly just pushing that stuff to the side, you're not buying yourself clothes, you're not giving yourself facials, getting your nails done, going to exercise by yourself or go for a walk out in nature or something like that, you're constantly putting yourself last. And after doing that for a good 2 to 3 years or longer, it's going to give great impact on your mental health and your self-worth is going to decrease. So there's a couple of really good ways to be selfish. In the last video we did, Samuel mentioned people you hang around. I think you need to be really selfish with the people that you hang around as well. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah,
one?
sure.
So,
I'm sure everyone can relate to this. You can kind of feel like, I might not want to hang around this person, but I do anyway, because I feel you feel bad. They say, why don't you hang around? Why don't you hang around as much? I think this is kind of going to hit home with the younger generation, because I think the older people have kind of, obviously over the years, have weeded out the people they don't want to associate themselves with. But with the younger people, I think it does relate a bit more. You really need to understand that the people that you hang around with, the way they are, whether it's mentally, physically, the way they go about doing things, will really rub off on you. So you got to get past that. Why aren't you coming to hang out, or why don't you? It doesn't matter. You might feel bad for a week or 2 weeks, but you just need to kind of weed those people out. And it's not to say that, because you're going to have good and bad in all your friends, and I've experienced that as well, where I might have certain things with certain friends that I don't like what they do, but there's a lot of good there as well. So I think that there needs to be a balance. I think if they do one thing you don't like, you don't just cut them out completely.
yeah.
But if they are if you have a new thing going and they're not very supportive of it, if they're trying to bring you down, which I'm sure this happens very often, you really need to kind of assess that.
Yeah, so I think a really good example of that would be me and last year with myself. So I have this business behind me, Beautiful Bodies, and I had a couple of friends around me at the time, and they all just wanted this wasn't like a once a month thing, this was like an every weekend. Every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, they wanted to go out, you know, have expensive meals, drink, and just drink and gamble. And I was like, I need to run my business. I really want to put effort into helping other people. I want to put effort into what I want to do with my life. And they're like, you never hang around us anymore. You never want to do this. You know, it's always just about you. And I'm like, well, it's just about me because it's my life and I want to create something so I can help, you know, 100,000 other people, however many people I'm going to help. So that's a really great way to be selfish. If there are people who are putting a negative impact on you consistently, but at the same time you've been friends with them for a very long time. So I was friends with these people for over 10 years. I do regret the decision sometimes, but not always, about letting them go. But my life has increased tenfold from doing so, and my business has increased tenfold from doing so. I don't have the stress on me of I should be out on a Friday night or a Saturday night partying my life away. I'm building and doing what I want to do with my life. So that's a great example.
Could I just give that's a really, I'll give another true story as well. True story? That was true story, but another one. It helps. A very, very close friend of mine, one of my best friends, Conrad, if anyone knows this, is watching, that know that who he is. He had a friend of his that it didn't matter what Conrad was doing, or it didn't matter if he had a new thing going or whatever it was, he always was worried about what this particular person was going to think of him, and he did things to kind of get his approval, and he didn't know why. They'd been friends for a long time. And just to cut a long story short, since cutting him out, he has this kind of relief off his shoulders. So I'm sure a lot of you could relate. You kind of feel like you need to prove yourself to your friends, and if you have some successful friends around you, you feel like you need to be a certain way, or you need to do certain, things in a certain way. But it really comes down to no one cares. No one really, really cares as much as about your mental health as much as you do.
Exactly.
So you need to put yourself first and really understand that if there's someone that's making you feel, that bad and that stressed all the time, then it's just not worth having them around.
Yeah, that's 100%. And the people that do actually care about how you feel and your health and your mental health, they will come to you in time. So don't ever stress when you think, I've got to get this person out of my life, but they're putting, so much pressure on me to do so. Just relax, let them go, and then the right people will come back to you in the end.
Another thing that helps too is if you're scared to let them go completely, just try and spend a little bit less time with them. That's what I found too, people that I did. You just kind of, if it's difficult to kind of say, okay, see you later, I don't want to speak to you anymore, just spend a little bit less time with them. Yeah. When next time you see them, don't spend 6 hours, but just spend half an hour with them and just say you've got to be somewhere else or whatever it is. Just spend a little bit less time until you're comfortable to kind of let them go. So
yeah, and like Samuel said, it's got to be people that put a lot of mental pressure on you, and not someone that just because you don't like the way they dress or just because they said that, I don't know, you didn't want to go out with them for one weekend or something like that. It's got to be someone that has consistently played a role in damaging your mental health that you want to let go, or that you're going to let go. And I know a lot of people will probably be like, yeah, but what are other people saying about it? My parents tell me not to, my family tells me not to, whoever it is, said that I'm doing the wrong thing.
Can be your closest people to you, like you're saying your parents, but it can be your partner, spouse, whatever.
100%. Yeah. I actually, I don't fully regret the decision, but I don't know. Yeah, I had to let a family member go, and they played a really big role in my life. My entire life they were like my mother to me. But in the end, they were I think it was just old age with them that got to them, and they were just, every single day they were extremely negative towards me, and they put me down, and I spoke to them about it and they couldn't understand it, and they just continued with their negativity towards me. In the end, I was just like, I don't want to deal with this because it's giving me the wrong thoughts, and I let them go. And a lot of people were like, you shouldn't do that, you need to work around it. And I said, if you had seen what was going through my head at the time, you would have let that go as well. And it all comes down to your health, not other people. other people will never understand what's going through your head.
Exactly right.
You just need to not let the opinions of other people affect you when you do things like this.
And don't think for a second that you know exactly how someone else is feeling, because you don't.
That's true.
Don't ever think that, you know.
Everyone suffers different.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody suffers.
Everyone goes through their own little issues. Someone being negative, and another thing with letting someone go, you don't need to hate the person, because they can be negative because they might be struggling with their own issues. So it's not like I hate this person, I don't want to talk to them, but it's like, I don't have anything against you, but you know, it's probably better if I don't associate myself with you as much. Even.
100%. And I've had someone like that as well. So last year I had someone who was in that situation. I didn't hate the person, I actually liked a lot about them, but they just were having a really negative impact on my business and myself, and I just thought, you know what, we're obviously not at the right time to be friends. So I let it go, and they've come back to me this year, and we're good friends, and yeah, it's worked out quite well. A good way to be selfish for women, I find, is, yeah, like I said previously, putting some effort into your exercise, putting your effort into buying yourself something nice each week, sitting down with a cup of tea and relaxing, turning your phone off, you know, and just do your own thing.
Really think about yourself.
Really think about yourself.
Be selfish, take some time for yourself, and you'll see it. You'll see you won't, because sometimes when you're around the same people all the time, you start to think, you get frustrated, or if you have a lot of people watching would have kids, 2, 3, 4 kids, and they think, I just can't find the time.
Yeah.
You can find the time.
And they also think, oh, but my kids are my number one priority. I never say that. You are your number one priority. Your kids come second, because what happens when you're not there? Who's going to look after them?
Exactly right.
Do you have a list of people that you could honestly trust with your kids, or, you know, to look after them? If you can say no to that answer, then you're your number one priority. If you can say yes to that, then you're extremely lucky.
Yeah, but even then, you want to take care of your kids.
Exactly.
So
you want
if you're not taking care of yourself and being in the best possible mind state, you'd be surprised. Kids are like sponges; they'll pick up on all of it. So
100%.
you really want to take care of your kids, take care of yourself, and get yourself right. Otherwise, you're not doing them any favors at all.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it nice and short today. So thanks for tuning in. We'll have our next episode up hopefully over the next month or two. I'm heading away at the end of September. Woo, time off for me, and I'm hoping to jump back in with Samuel in probably October, I think. So stay tuned, hit subscribe if you like it.
Thanks guys, bye bye.